This is Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgasen and Nick Fodera. A look at sports and pop culture from beyond common sense. The show that constantly goes off the rails and might never get back on. When you don't belong, you're a bench warmer. On this show, there's no riding the bench. This is Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to another installment of Beyond the Bench. I am Nick Fodera, along with my venerable co-host, Mr. Nick Morgasen. Hey, we're matching today.
Yeah, we made it. Well, wow, we did. We matched the colors. I guess we have a lot going on. Episode 19, by the way, of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Follow the show on social media, on Twitter, at Beyond the Bench 1. Follow on Facebook, facebook.com/BeyondTheBench1, and follow us on that podcast network at ETB Network. So, Nick, we're back at it again. How was your week?
It was. That's all I can say. It was a week.
It was a week. At least we don't have to worry about popping any cherries this week.
Just metaphorical ones.
Well, if you need to understand that joke, go back to last week's episode where Kyle Hershon, who is a good friend of ours, good friend of mine, worked in radio together. He is back, as I said, and he's doing his show, The Hirsch Show, on the ETV Podcast Network, starting March 14th. So make sure you check that out as well.
So we got ourselves. We're adding to the ETB family, but now, as of right now, you got the two of us in front of you. So let's get to it.
You have us two morons. So let's do a show, shall we? So first, let me fill you in. Let's fill you in what's going to come up on the show. So Wendy Williams Show gone. Medical issues have taken over. She's had a lot of guest hosts for her show for the last couple of months. Sherri Sheppard, comedian Sherri Sheppard, is taking over the time slot. We'll get to that. A new Fairly OddParents series live action show follows Timmy Turner's cousin.
Well, don't give it away, because
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
New live action Fairly OddParents on Paramount Plus. We'll talk about that. Aaron Rodgers apparently wants to hold the boombox up. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Britney Spears reportedly has a new multi-million-dollar book deal with Simon Schuster, and apparently the Spears family should be afraid. We'll get to that. Justin Bieber canceled the show after getting COVID, and apparently his manager, Scooter Braun, was joking about it. Now, we all know what Nick's thoughts are on that. Phil Mickelson. Now, usually when we talk about Phil or we talk about any other sports story, that's usually on Empty the Bench. This is a public interest story.
Because this is more of this has nothing to do with what he did on the field, or on the course, I should say.
Right.
This is more about him opening his mouth and inserting his foot.
Well, if you listen to an ETB Sports Minute I did, I said he put his balls in his mouth, but that's a whole different...
Of course you had to go there.
And finally, Arthur. We all remember her as a kid when we watched Arthur, right? So The long-running PBS Kids Series has come to an end after 25 seasons. Now, that makes us feel incredibly old, by the way. But
on you, I'm old on the inside.
But there you go. So let's get started. Here we go. Numero uno. The Wendy Williams Show comes to an end. Yes, I know Nick doesn't really like this topic 100%, but it's trending. You have to admit, Nick, it's trending in the news.
Yes, it is definitely trending, but the thing is, wasn't it because what health problems did she, because the last time I remember hearing about it, she was pretty coy about what was actually going on, right?
Well, she went loopy, to be quite honest, and she had drinking issues, she had mental health issues.
Is that confirmed, or is that just speculation?
No, that's confirmed. That's why she's been out for many months at a time.
Oh.
So they keep calling it the Wendy Williams Show because it is her show, but she has not been there.
Not no mores.
Not no mores, right? And so Sherri Sheppard, who we all know, big time comedian, she was, I think, a co-host on The View at one point
for a little bit. Yeah.
She also was doing a show on your favorite platform, Fox Nation.
She was. For some strange reason, I thought she was on Bravo.
Yeah, that would make sense too.
Maybe I dreamed it, but still, I mean, do you remember there was a certain period in time where daytime talk show hosts were at war with each other?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm talking about the time in the late 90s and the early 2000s where Rosie O'Donnell was at war with the people in The View, and The View hated her, and then she joined The View. And
irony!
And then they all hated each other. And then there was, there was Ricky. Well, there was Ricky.
Ricky. What was it? Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake. Yeah.
Ricky Lake. There was Jerry Springer. There was the Maury Show, which is actually still going. But there was a time.
I had a friend that actually used to work for Maury, by the way.
I could imagine. And my point here is this: that daytime talk show hosts aren't exactly, or daytime talk shows, we're not exactly in the golden age anymore.
Well, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, and people are going to say, well, Nick, you're a hypocrite. Why would you say this statement you're about to say? Now, Nick knows that I've been a hypocrite forever, but anyone can be a talk show host.
Technically, anyone can be a talk show host, but it takes a certain kind of person to be a good talk show host.
What I'm saying is, like, they'll take any name, celebrity name, slap it on a show, and think, "Oh my God, we're gonna make all this money!"
Look what they did to Kelly Clarkson.
That show's doing well.
I know the show's doing well, but she's not exactly the first person I would have pegged as a talk show host.
I agree with you. When I first heard that Kelly Clarkson was getting a talk show, I said, I was a little confused.
I mean, the archetype of, then again, I mean, it's really a stereotype that the black talk show hosts, or the black woman talk show host, has to be the loud, angry, just person. It's really a stereotype, but I mean, Wendy Williams kind of was that.
Well, actually,
not really.
Let me pull back the curtain a little bit. Not pull back the curtain, but tell the story. That Wendy Williams actually comes from my broadcast neck of the woods in radio, where she actually, I forgot which New York station. I think it was either BLS or Hot 97. She originally was a local New York host. Then she became syndicated. And then it blew up into let's do a TV talk show. But it really was not a TV talk show, what she was doing. It was really a hot topics, is what they call it, type of show.
Yeah, it's gossip.
Which, to me, I just think that's dumb, to be quite honest.
Then again, but you're not the target audience, so...
No, it's females. It's females from, like, teenager to, I want to say, like, in their 40s. Like...
Yeah, but what I mean by stereotypical is that there was always a certain kind of expectation that black women, on daytime talk shows had to be like that. They had to be loud and opinionated and kind of obnoxious, but not too obnoxious.
Oh, wait a minute. You mentioned Rosie before. Rosie's white. She was loud and obnoxious.
And but again, it also applied to Rosie too. You're right. And it's that I think, and Oprah really wasn't that much a part of this, because she was always very, because she came from a news background.
Well, Oprah was a phenomenon by herself. Like, she just came up, rose out of the ranks. First of all, I think she was a weather person when she started.
Yeah, she was. That's why I say she comes from a journalism background. So she's always been quite, a little bit more taciturn.
What's funny though is that people don't know this. Oprah and Pat Sajak were both weather people before they became hosts.
Exactly, but she has, or she still has, I should say. I was about to say she had, but she still has an incredible presence, in front of the camera. She still has a good understanding of what it is I want to talk about, what my opinion is, and I'm not just preaching to the choir or telling you what I think you want to hear.
You're talking about Oprah?
Yeah.
Well,
Wendy Williams too. I mean, you could say many things, but inauthentic she was not.
Well, Wendy would tell you how it is, regardless of what
was the appeal, right?
And that was the issue at times, because she would turn off a lot of people in a way where she would just blurt out whatever came to her mind, which I respect, because you and I come from a cloth where we will say whatever it takes, not whatever it takes, whatever we feel.
Yeah, it's really an Achilles heel for me. I'm not a talk show host. I'm not paid to be a loudmouth.
Well, ironically, maybe in the future, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah. Still,
but
it seems like by hiring Sherri Sheppard, they're aiming for that exact kind of
stereotypical.
Not stereotype. It's like they're aiming for Wendy Williams, but not Wendy Williams.
Right, but I do think it is a little stereotypical. It goes back to what you said. Now, people are going to throw tomatoes at me again. I say this a lot. She is a black female comedian. Now, that seems to be a big grab in the talk show space.
Yeah.
Right now. To be quite honest, they tried it with Wanda Sykes. It failed massively.
Even though it wasn't really Wanda's fault.
No, but it was a fail because she didn't know how to do it properly.
Because she's a comedian. She's used to, going up there for 10 minutes and telling jokes.
I wouldn't say 10 minutes. She probably could do it.
Going up there for an hour and a half at a time and telling jokes.
And not taking commercial breaks and not doing all this stuff.
It's different. It calls upon an entirely different set of skills to be a talk show host versus being a stand-up.
You have to be able to come down to the average person's level and talk to the people who are low income, medium income, high income. You have to be able to talk to everybody, not just one person or people that are fans of yours.
Yeah.
That's the tough part here.
But it's not just the lowest or highest common denominator. It's everybody in between, like you just said.
Right. And basically, the company made a decision, and I can't find it. I think it's Debmar is the name of the company. Excuse me, that runs the production. They finally said, "Hey, we have to make a business decision here. We have somebody's name on a show, and all we have are guest hosts. We need to move on and figure out what we're doing." Now, I hate when people do this, where, all right, we had to move on, but when she's ready to come back, we'll put her back on TV. Why say that?
Which is kind of rushing her back, right? When she's not.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I hate when companies make this excuse. Well, go take care of your health. We'll put somebody in permanently, but there'll always be a spot for you when you're ready to come back.
They do that with a lot of people, though. They did it for Johnny Carson.
All right, but Johnny Carson is royalty in the talk show space.
But again, it's a way to ease the audience into not seeing them around as much.
I happen to think Sherri Sheppard is very funny, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard she's very funny, but again, I'm not really.
And she has experience being on The View, doing her own show on Fox Nation. So it's not like they're dragging a random person or dragging a name in like Kelly Clarkson, who never had talk show experience before, which, by the way, the show has actually turned out quite well. So, yeah. And she's already, I think they confirmed that she's taken the Ellen time slot when she's gone.
She has.
Now, talk about someone who's really should have never.
We could go another half fucking hour for that.
You know what's funny, though, and I'll let you in behind the curtain when we talk about how we're putting the show together. Nick originally said we weren't going to have a whole heck of a lot to talk about in this topic.
Which I thought we wouldn't.
But I think you and I are so interested, not in the talk shows themselves, but how they're handled and how they go about.
Yeah, I think it's an oft overlooked part of the television landscape, especially today, but it has its place.
By the
And
way,
it definitely you think it doesn't mean a lot to people, but then you take it away, and then you realize, oh, this was bigger than we thought.
I hate one name talk shows. By the way, they're calling it Sherri.
Oh,
That's such an ego thing. Like, I don't know. What did they call Oprah? Oprah only or no?
no, it was the Oprah Winfrey Show.
See, and Oprah's got the biggest name in the world, for crying out loud, and they don't call it Oprah.
Yeah, but at a certain point, it was like you only knew her by that name. You didn't have to say Oprah Winfrey. All you had to do was say Oprah.
I mean, do people know Sherri Sheppard just by her first name? I don't think so.
No, I don't think we'll get there. We're there yet, but
I mean, I guess Ellen is the same way, though, right?
Yeah, Ellen is the same way because, I mean, you're there. It's almost like you're on a first name basis with her because she's there every day.
But I'm saying, like, I guess people only call her Ellen because that's how they really know her.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm starting to get sick of this topic, actually, like you said. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll stay in the TV realm, and we'll talk about this. New Fairly OddParents series shows live action Timmy all grown up on Paramount Plus.
Now, didn't they? Now, before you say, didn't they already do this? Yes, they did do. Yes, they did do a couple live action movies with Drake Bell as Timmy, and if you aren't remembering them, I mean, I don't blame you because they apparently were goddamn terrible.
But I watched them because I was a Fairly OddParents fan growing up, but then like Drake Bell, who's been in trouble many times in public, and I always thought that was an interesting choice why they used him, but this is them trying to milk it.
This is them trying to milk it because we're in a very weird spot right now because nostalgia. I mean, if you notice, nostalgia comes in 20-year cycles because people in the 80s were nostalgic for the 60s. People in the the 2010s were nostalgic for the 80s, and now we're starting to see the 90s come back. Even though the Fairly OddParents is actually 2001, but now we're going into the place where 2000 was now what started in 2001 is now a nostalgia property.
It seems old. I was like, holy crap. First of all, when I saw, and I kind of remember this, that it was on from 2001 to 2017, by the way. Like, I think it's the second longest behind SpongeBob, I think.
Yeah, it's the second longest program they have behind SpongeBob.
But they should have learned when SpongeBob started being bad and when, I keep forgetting, which director was the one that passed away?
Steven Hillenburg. He had ALS.
They should have known when Hillenburg passed away, that should have been the end.
This should have been the end.
And then they decided, you know what? We're going to double down and we're going to make another movie.
We're going to make spinoffs, even though he specifically didn't want them to do that.
And then they made new episodes.
And that, when he stepped down, it should have, because originally the first movie was supposed to be the end.
And the live actions were terrible. The live actions of SpongeBob, like, it was horrible.
The first movie was funny. But
you're talking about the animated ones, or like the actual
animated ones? Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about where they tried to go live action, where they go from undersea up.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
That was horrible. It was really bad. I mean,
but again, they're cynically marketing this stuff to us. They're not marketing it to 10-year-olds or 11-year-olds. I mean, you were how old when Fairly OddParents first premiered? That was like March 2001.
So 2001, I was 93. I was 8.
So you were 8 years old. I was 11 years old, and I mean, I can remember when they did Oh Yeah cartoons.
So do I.
Yeah, when the Fairly OddParents were a part of those shorts.
Oh yeah,
I remember back even longer. So
no, I'll never forget. Oh yeah, cartoons. Yeah, like
yeah. So, but they're not marketing it to kids now. They're marketing it to us.
I mean, what's kind of creepy also, like just from the live actions, Danielle Monet was also in those. Do you remember Danielle Monet?
Yeah, she was on the show
Victorious.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. Like, they were trying to go backwards They try to go backwards to move forward in all these
You
weird...
just end up going sideways.
Right. And
This reeks of me. This reeks to me of we need content on Paramount Plus and we need it quick and we need IP. So what do we got?
you know what? My friend Thomas, who I've known forever, like we were catching up, and he's like, I have Paramount Plus because I don't have Paramount Plus. I kind of want it now with all the old shows they're bringing back, and we watched iCarly. I finally watched most of the first season of iCarly. And what was so weird about that, one, it's adult consent now, unlike the kid.
Adult consent.
It's adult version iCarly.
Oh, you mean the reboot?
The reboot, yes. So now, like, they're saying bitch, and they're talking about sex.
Swearing, not fully doing the 7 dirty words routine.
I don't care. I'm okay with cursing. I could give two shits. No pun intended.
Exactly. But the thing is,
they were talking about sexual situations. They're talking about being adults. And I'm like, holy crap, wait a minute. Like, what's going on here?
Did anybody ask for this?
I actually think it's good. I
never watched it. So it's like,
what is that? What was the name of that show that they rebooted with Mario Lopez? Also, the one with them in the high school.
I don't know.
I forgot. I have to look it up because it's bothering me.
Still, I mean, this is okay. Paramount. We need content for Paramount Plus. You saw what they did the other day. All the content that they put out.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I was too young for that, but
still, they're rebooting Saved by the Bell, though.
They already did.
Stop rebooting things, please.
They ordered a second season of Halo, and the first season hasn't even fucking come out yet.
That's a new thing that they're doing now in the Hollywood world. That they basically sign on for a second season, not even knowing if people want it.
Anybody's actually gonna like it. So
and it's
and they're gonna make 15 Yellowstone prequels, even though I've never actually seen anybody who actually likes that show, much less watches it.
You want me to make you feel really old? They're rebooting The Nanny.
I knew about that though. The Nanny was if it was a staple of Nick at Night, which it was.
Well, that was after prior. That was after prior.
Game.
That was after prior syndication though. But those people are old, though.
This society is designed to make us feel older and older and older.
But here's the issue, though, that the only reason they're doing all these reboots is because COVID. That's the only reason. Oh, well, we need to feel nostalgic. We need to get all together. Let's bring everybody back to TV.
If Disney didn't prove that it was a valuable thing by bringing Star Wars back in 2015, that nobody would have done it. Absolutely nobody would have done it.
I just don't get it. And by the way, it's so like you were talking about with episodes, 13 episodes of Fairly OddParents, and they're calling it Fairly Odder.
And no one's going to care.
And they're making it available on Paramount Plus starting Thursday, March 31st.
Oh, great. Who cares? But, it's funny. I never actually told this story, but I actually, you know who Fred Seibert is?
I've heard that name.
He's actually one of the first. He was one of the first executives at MTV, and that
does sound familiar.
Yeah, he was a part of Nickelodeon in the early days too.
Same company.
The Orange Splat and the Doo Wop bumpers. That was him.
Same company.
And he also worked on Fairly OddParents with Butch Hartman. And
that sounds
they
familiar.
asked him about it because eventually he was going to get a question about that. And because I actually met him and got a because he was attending a Q&A at New Paltz.
Damn,
where I went to college. So somebody in the crowd asked him at the Q&A, and he did not have nice things to say about the newer, which were then newer batch of episodes. He said Nickelodeon ruined it, if I remember correctly.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, because in today's world, they think they have to put bells and whistles on everything to get people's attention because of the short attention span problems.
It's just, if they reboot Adventure Time, then I'll know. It's like no. Then I'll know you're doing that shit on purpose because you're rebooting something that was on when I was in college. So stop it.
I mean, they're talking about like DuckTales for crying out loud. I thought I heard that one too.
DuckTales was I don't know. I wasn't really a Disney Channel guy, so
I wasn't either. I was a Nickelodeon guy forever. I never watched Disney Channel. I never watched cartoon. I watched a little Cartoon Network.
You will never. People my age will never stop. Will never shut the fuck up about gargoyles. They will never shut the fuck up about DuckTales.
You know what pisses me off though?
About gargoyles. They will never shut the fuck up about shit. What else?
No, it angers me though that like kids of today don't know about SpongeBob. They don't know about Fairly OddParents. They don't know about
because it's not being marketed to them.
But they don't know Kenan and Kel, which was back in our day, which I used to watch every day as a kid. Every day.
I understand it's an old man yelling at cloud moment.
No, all that.
Yes, I understand, but it's not being marketed. It's not being marketed to them.
Wait a minute. All that was the kids' Saturday Night Live. I mean,
I know it. I know. It's just it's not. It's being marketed to 30-year-olds and people in their mid-20s.
I mean, do you remember when they tried to reboot all that and it was a massive failure?
They tried that a couple times, didn't they?
And it failed big time. They tried to get kids of today.
Well, when you don't have good material you're working with.
Well, the weird thing was they tried to bring back the old castmates. Why do you think they had to do that though? Because they knew
had to get people to watch somehow.
Because they brought back Kenan, they brought back Kel, they brought back Josh Server, they brought back all the classic names, which most kids today have no clue who these people are. If you know what I mean.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
By the way, you and I probably watched all that in Kenan and Kel every day when we were kids.
Every chance I could.
So, I don't know. I'm a thumbs down on this, to be quite honest.
Me, I didn't know it existed, and I wish I could go back to the point where I didn't know it existed.
So
I wish I could unknow these things.
And Paramount Plus and all these apps, and I've told you this many times, I'm like revolting against the apps, like because they're purposely putting things on the apps because they're forcing you to buy the apps to get all the reboots.
I'm gonna cut cable. That'll be cheaper. Yeah, when this shit all adds up.
That's what I don't get. So I've talked to some people, some of my friends are like, I have Netflix, I have Amazon, I have Hulu, I have whatever
Disney Plus, or I have shit, whatever else.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they took shit and put a plus next to it and made it an app.
Shit Plus.
And on
shit anymore.
And on that app will be all the dumb shows that people don't want to watch anymore.
Just reruns upon reruns upon reruns of the Greg Gutfield show.
That was good. Or Chris Cuomo.
All right, moving on.
It's time to hold the boombox on top of our heads.
So, when we last left the saga of Aaron Rodgers, he had broken up with his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, who is, of course, an actress, if you didn't know. So, last we heard is that Aaron got cold feet.
Well, that's not the first time he's got cold feet.
It's not the first time we've seen his feet, I should say. However, he decides to go on Instagram a couple of days ago and post this, frankly, weird, cryptic message about I love Shailene Woodley. He's basically writing poetry. He's thanking everybody who helped him in football, and all the sports guys were saying, "Oh my God, is he about to announce he's retiring?"
I posted it on our,
and then all the gossip people were like, "Oh my God, is he saying he still loves her?" It's like, and it turns out it was actually neither.
I mean, it felt like this moment.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
No, he would actually be crying when he said that. We just became best friends.
I mean, this whole
He's
thing.
friend zoned.
Well, and I've been in my fair share of friend zones before, so I know.
Oh yeah, I
But-
actually rent space there about 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, so do I. But basically, what I would say about this, the man is cryptic. The man doesn't care. He went on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's going to announce his retirement!" And I'm like, "No, he's not. He's not."
Doing this shit on purpose.
He's-
Ever since the whole vaccine thing, he knows what the media and the media at large is looking for, because what he's done and what this whole vaccination saga has done, and by extension him dating Shailene Woodley, is Aaron Rodgers is starting to branch out of sports and into public. Just the fact that we're talking about it here and not on Empty the Bench is telling, I think.
It might bleed over to there, depending on the other part of the story. Will bleed over there.
Yeah, depending on the other part of the story. But it seems like it doesn't seem to me like the breakup was that mutual in the first place. It's like, what's it going to be? Like, Say Anything, where he basically just camps out inside our house and he's just playing Peter Gabriel? like he's Lloyd fucking Dobler.
No, you know what we should do? We should play "I Will Always Love You" on the boombox, and just be like, "I'm here."
Yeah, dress up all in black and start playing The Cure.
I mean, and everyone's going to be like, "You're an Aaron Rodgers hater." Yes, I am an Aaron Rodgers hater. You are an Aaron Rodgers hater because he's a nutbag.
I didn't want to be an Aaron Rodgers hater, though.
No, he kind of just did it himself.
He kind of did it. He kind of did it to us. You made me hate you.
I mean, we all just for this line alone.
RELAX.
Just for that alone.
You know, we should have known then. We should have known then he was a dickhead.
I mean, you know that was when he did a daily radio show on ESPN Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
When that moment went viral, we all knew that
We all should have known.
we should have known that the dickhead that Aaron Rodgers has become.
See, because I don't know whether it probably started out as innocent dickheadery, but it didn't. It hasn't transformed into that. It's not innocent anymore. He's doing this on purpose.
We went from the playful Aaron Rodgers to this.
I hate you. Get the out of here.
Yeah, that's basically what we're saying.
Because enough. Like, athletes think that we want to know everything that goes on in their life. Like that they have to make everything public and we need to know everything about them. Good. Date whoever you want. This is Derek Jeter syndrome all over again.
Derek kept quiet about it, though.
Well, towards the end, he did.
Towards the end, he didn't. But you know what? He was retired. He had 1 foot out the door at that point, and nobody really cared.
He was too busy giving autograph baseball.
But in his Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez,
Wait a minute. That story, when that came out, that apparently like he was dating Mariah or Mariah liked him, that was the creepiest thing ever.
Oh, Jessica Biel and
Minka Kelly.
Minka Kelly. It's not like but at a certain point when we started dating Hannah Davis, it's like people didn't care anymore.
But wait a minute, Hannah Davis is like really young compared to him, though.
Well, yeah, but it's New York. He's Derek Jeter. Nobody's going to say anything, even though it is kind of creepy.
Hopefully, he doesn't leave a signed baseball like he did for every other woman he
No, it
dated.
was a fruit basket. It was a care basket.
Oh, it was a care basket and
gift basket. Yeah.
no, it was a care basket and a signed baseball. Because why get your money's worth out of it, even if we're not dating anymore?
I don't know what's more embarrassing: the fact that got out, or the fact that A-Rod was basically they took a picture of him taking a dump.
That was so wrong. I mean, him and his dating past too. He had Cameron Diaz. He had J-Lo, which that failed. Kate Hudson.
Which she became a good luck charm when they went to the postseason.
There was a rumor that Madonna.
Yeah, that he was dating Madonna at some point, even though she was older than him at the time.
Well, still is.
Yeah, still is.
I was gonna say age ranges don't change.
Yeah, it's not like they cryo froze her.
But this whole thing is crazy. We all know. I think we all know Aaron wants to retire. I think
he wants to play. He wants to look. This man is going to try to grab every headline he can. So he's going to try. If he doesn't go back to the Packers, he's going to probably try to engineer a trade somewhere else.
I told you what, and you guys actually didn't think I was crazy when I said it on Empty the Bench. I think he should go to the Bucs.
He could go to the Bucs. He could also go to the Oakland Raiders, because God knows. The Las Vegas Raiders, I should say.
He should go to Merritt. Anyway, 49ers. That's where we hear he wants. Well, maybe want to go. But everyone keeps saying Denver. I don't understand why they keep saying the Broncos.
We're getting a little bit into Empty the Bench territory. So
but I just meant in general. Like, he's very cryptic. Like, he can't say anything without it being like suspicious or fishy or whatever it is.
Suspicious.
Wow.
It's suspicious and it's fishy. It's suspicious.
Wow. Didn't see that one coming.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll let myself out.
Anyway, all right, let's switch gears here from cryptic to crazy. So Britney Spears reportedly has a $15 million deal from Simon Schuster for a tell-all book.
And you knew this was happening. The minute you knew that she was going to be released from that conservatorship, you knew there was a tell-all book coming.
Well, do you remember when we covered the story on the Jamie Lynn Spears book?
Yes, we did.
And now, I think partially this has to do with getting back.
Yeah, this has to do with. That's not the story. This is the story.
Right. And apparently, and it says, according to page 6, the book deal with Simon & Schuster worth $15 million, but everyone in the publishing industry wanted to be the one to put the tell-all out. Duh! D for duh!
Because this thing is going to sell. I hate to use an old term like that, but it's going to sell like hotcakes.
I was about to say the same thing. You and I were on the same page there. Apparently, there was a bidding war for the book.
There was a there was a bidding war for the book because they feel like they can't, or this is like as close to a can't miss opportunity as any book publisher has ever had. Not even people in the Trump administration would writing books would get book publishers this hard.
I mean, I'm seeing quotes. We saw Britney come out on social media and totally trashed the shit out of her sister.
I can just imagine what she's saving for the book. Because there ain't no tea like spilled tea.
Wow. Talk about cliche. Anyway, the Britney Spears story. That's what it should be called. It should just be the Britney Spears story.
Or something referring to herself. Or this was Britney, bitch. Something like that.
Or hit me, baby, one more time.
All right, we're going too far into bad pun territory. So.
But just, I get this. Jamie Lynn kind of brought it on herself, and
but just imagine what she's going to say about her father, about her mother,
her conservatorship,
about
conservatorship.
What?
The conservatorship.
Yeah, the conservatorship. Justin Timberlake, because apparently she's mad at him too.
Christina Aguilera,
because apparently she had some not nice things to say about her back in the day.
Let's put it this way.
Everything that people used to speculate about on TRL, put in the printed word.
Let's put it this way. They should just write scorched earth all over this book. That's what it's going to be.
They are, like I said, remember how I told you nostalgia comes in 20-year cycles? This is part of that, because now we're trying to bring back 2002.
I mean, not to
it's the late 90s, early 2000s. TRL is on, and Britney Spears is about to torch all these motherfuckers.
I mean, not to bring this full circle, but I think this sums it all up.
Look at all the failure.
I think that sums it all up, considering we just talked about it.
I'd read it. Just for the sheer morbid curiosity, I'd read the book.
I would definitely read the book. I mean, I wonder if she's going to curse in this book, or if she's going to say a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's a quote here. I missed it where it says, "Congrats, bestseller. The nerve of you to sell a book now and talk shit, but you're fucking lying."
Wait, who said that?
That's Britney. I wish you would, I wish you would take a lie detector test so all these masses of people see you're lying through your teeth about me. She wrote it in a then deleted Instagram post.
So, in order to bring this a little bit even more full circle back to daytime TV, I'll say this. Jerry! 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 Jerry!
I guarantee you all the talk shows are going to try and get her on.
Absolutely.
She's
gonna be doing the rounds on every single late night talk show. She's gonna be on Fallon. They're gonna have her back to host an SNL for the first time in about a
She'll
decade.
be on Kimmel. She'll be on Colbert. She'll be
do
on
another album. Maybe she'll make another movie because apparently the director of Crossroads wants to do another one.
Great. And then she goes to finish that quote. She said, "I wish the Almighty Lord would come down and show the whole world that you're lying and making money off me. You are scum, Jamie Lynn."
You know, the only three things missing from this equation are Fred Durst, Carson Daly, and Eminem somehow.
Yes. Oh, right. I forgot about that. That's right. But I'm interested. I like reading about people's pain. I know that's awkward. Like,
yeah, because you're sadistic. That's why.
I don't know why. Like, I wouldn't want horrible things being said about me. I mean, that's par for the course. People have said many horrible.
But you can't take it.
No, I've had I've had many people say horrible things about me, and then I just go back at them, and then they realize they shouldn't have come after me. But that's a whole nother territory for a whole different day. But I'll definitely be interested in reading the book and finding out more. I mean, heck, she got $15 million for this.
Did they give a release date?
I don't see a release date. I think they just agreed to the deal, which a lot of times they try to keep those things under wraps. I'm surprised.
She probably hasn't started writing it yet.
I'm surprised that the money figure came out.
Well, when it's a substantial figure like that, I mean, you tend not to.
By the way, they said it's the second largest deal behind the Obama's book.
I don't even think there was that much interest around the Obamas writing a book.
No, it's their name. Remember I said earlier that talk shows, they purposely try to just pick names out of a hat, like these big celebrities, and they think they're going to make all this money?
What's next? William Hung is going to write a memoir?
God. I mean, pick any C-list celebrity. They'll try and make a show out of it, for crying out loud. I mean, look at Spotify. Spotify gave the Obamas like millions upon millions to have a podcast network on Spotify. What does that tell you? They're not looking at them as people who are technologically sound. They're a name.
Exactly.
Look at Joe Rogan. We saw that exposed. You saw the story a couple of weeks ago that he apparently was paid $200 million, not $100 million.
Yes.
What does that tell you? He's not technologically sound. He's a name. That's it.
They really don't give a shit, and any kind of controversy is good enough for them.
All right. Speaking of controversy, and we'll stay in the celebrity world. Unfortunately, usually you and I don't do as much of this gossip bullshit as much, but let's talk about Justin Bieber. So, Justin Bieber is on the long list of celebrity names that have tested positive for COVID. And this kind of went a little too far to the point where everyone knows Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun is the big manager like that for all the big names in the music business.
If you've ever seen Pop Star, it's pretty much the perfect encapsulation through parody of that.
I think he worked with Taylor Swift at one point also.
He did.
So
she sued his ass too, didn't she?
I think so. I think you might be right on that. So he tests positive for COVID. Tour dates are canceled. He puts his messages out. By the way, worst name for a tour ever. Justice Tour Family. Or Justice Tour is what they're calling it. So that news goes wild. And then Bieber's manager, Scooter Braun, confirmed the news on Instagram while seemingly joking that the singer contracted COVID while attending the Super Bowl with Braun's friend, who he claims gave him COVID back in December.
So, are we saying that he is not vaccinated? Is that what we're saying here?
I have no idea. I really have no idea.
Because it seems to me like that's what they're implying without implying.
But why would you joke? You're the manager. Why are you joking about COVID?
Maybe, and hear me out here, maybe Taylor Swift was right when she said that Scooter Braun was a dick.
I only know him because of the names that he manages. I don't really know him for much else.
I mean, it always happens with these managers. But even like we were just talking about Britney Spears. I mean, the things that the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC had to go through back in the day.
Right.
And those guys were actively stealing from them.
Well, exactly. I mean, that makes sense. But I just, you know what? These are big names getting COVID. You're joking about a big name getting COVID? Like, what are you doing?
Again, because every time we bring it up, we've had to bring up COVID a lot during Empty the Bench, for those of you who don't listen to it. And every time we have to bring it up, we always go to the same point, which is, why does this keep happening? Well, I'll tell you why it keeps happening. It keeps happening because the people that should care about stopping this virus, the people in positions of relative power or privilege, really don't give a shit about COVID anymore.
No, because they think
that's the point. Because I really don't think that Scooter Braun gives a shit about COVID anymore.
No, he cares about lining his pockets. That's what he cares about.
I really don't think that Justin Bieber, to a certain point, gives a shit about COVID anymore. So this is where we find ourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll ask you flat out. Do you think Justin Bieber is vaccinated?
I hope so, but if I
that wasn't the question. The question exactly was, do you think he's vaccinated?
No, I don't think he is.
Oh, wow.
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he is.
I tend to lean towards him not being vaccinated as well, just because a lot of these celebrities think that they're above getting vaccinated.
Or they'll do what Aaron Rodgers did. They'll just immunize themselves by injecting themselves with some kind of weird rhino hormone or something.
Wait a minute. You got to tell that joke again, like you told an Empty the Bench, where you someone runs around and you chase them with a needle.
Yeah, just chase it. Just hold it down like they're a mental institution, and then, or use a blowgun. Just.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you with the COVID shot.
I mean, if they're not going to do it willingly.
Oh, God. But I tend to agree with you. I don't think he's vaccinated. Watch. Now all the Justin Bieber fans are going to come after us now. The Beliebers!
They would have had to listen to the show first, so thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Watch all the Beliebers who are, ironically, might not be a believer anymore. You can't say that! You're not allowed to have an opinion about Justin Bieber.
And you guys aren't exactly Taylor Swift fans, so let's not split hairs here.
I'm trying to get blocked by Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift, like I was blocked by Deshaun Watson.
Oh, watch now! Yeah, watch that'll happen now.
Hey, that would be good publicity for us.
Block.
Oh wait, do I have that here? Oh, here we go. But speaking of reputation, hey Nick, help!
So you need to enlighten me. What was it that Phil Mickelson said?
Yeah, so Phil had attended.
By the way, it's out of context, not contest.
No, I said What did I say?
Look at the lower third.
Oh, God. Hold on 1 second. Vamp while I fix this.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're actually watching Beyond the Bench, where opinions definitely matter, but grammar does not.
There we go.
Syntax definitely doesn't matter.
There we go. So, Phil Mickelson was quoted as saying, "My Saudi comments were out of context, but I am deeply sorry."
So what did he say about Saudi Arabia?
So you're not going to be shocked by this, but the PGA is working with Saudi Arabia to create a golf league. And Phil, we all know Phil doesn't keep tight lips by any means.
No, definitely not.
So I'm trying to make sure I get these right. So Phil broke it down in a lengthy statement on his social media page Tuesday, days after he admitted to supporting he supported the formation of a new Saudi golf league, despite what he called the country's, quote, horrible record of human rights. And he went on to say, quote, we know they killed Washington Post reporter and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights, Mickelson said, according to the Fire Pit Collective. I think that's a podcast. Wait, there's a little more. Quote, they execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shape how the PGA Tour operates. Phil went on. Phil went on to say that he. Wait. Phil went on to say that he believed the new Saudi league, which was reportedly trying to sway top American golfers with millions of dollars in cash, could force big and necessary changes on the tour. While Phil said Tuesday the comments were, quote, off record and out of context, he admitted that the words were offensive and regrettable regardless. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did Phil forget that he's a public figure?
Putting aside for a second the what he said, because I mean, who would have thought that a blanket statement about Saudis could be taken out of context like that? Because no, I'm not racist. I just don't like those people.
I'm not racist, but I only hate people.
Putting that aside, he said that the person that was interviewing him, I'm looking this up at Awful Announcing right now.
It's the Fire Pit Collective. I think that's a podcast.
The Fire Pit Collective. The journalist that had interviewed him took his quotes entirely out of context, and it was supposed to be off the record. Now, coming from a journalism perspective.
Well, can I just add one thing before you have that opinion? Apparently, the podcast host came out afterwards and said he never told me it was off the record.
Which leads to my point. It is complete and utter bullshit. You cannot put your foot in your mouth and then say, I did not mean to say that.
Exactly.
Unless you say otherwise, well before the interview happens, it's going to be on the record. Assume it's on the record until you hear otherwise.
Until you're told it's not.
Until you are told it is not, it is on the record. Plus, out of context, I don't know. I think there's plenty of context to what he said there.
I mean, you made an offensive comment about Saudi Arabians.
You put your foot in your mouth and, again, own up to it.
I mean, I did a whole ETB minute on it where he put his balls in his mouth. Sorry, but that's what he did. Golf balls. And basically, PGA stands for pure genius, asshole.
Pure genius, asshole.
Because do you realize, that when you speak to a podcast or, I worked in radio for many years, where if something was on the air, it's property of the radio station.
And again, you are an ambassador, whether you like it or not.
The guy makes millions of dollars in sponsors.
Which, by the way, is not to exonerate anything about everything he said about as far as Jamal Khashoggi goes.
Right, but he shouldn't. But why are you dragging?
That's right, but still.
Right, but why are you dragging politics into a discussion about what the PGA is partnering with? That's not your call.
I guarantee you the guy interviewing him did not say anything about that. He did not say we. It's like he just automatically said it. It's like, what?
I've done many interviews, whether it's for this show or Empty the Bench or other shows I did in college radio. And I can't think of a specific incident. I had a few times where I asked a few questions and they got mad at me over the air. It might have been for some of the shows we've been doing. And I said, look, if you don't want it in, I'll take it out. And they said, no, it's okay. And then afterwards, I'm sure you've dealt with this a million times, Nick, where they tell you it's okay, and then they get mad afterwards that you left it in there.
Yeah, and I Alan Shipnuck, by the way, was the name of the person interviewing him. So just want to add that as a caveat.
Okay.
However, I mean, what did you actually think you were going to accomplish? Whether you are right or wrong about these things, Phil,
Right, wrong, or indifferent, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're part of this, and they're paying millions of dollars. And you know what? Money talks, and bullshit rides a bus.
Well, actually, he got DQ'd by KPMG.
I guess it doesn't talk anymore.
Now, let's make something very clear, okay? Phil has made so much money that it doesn't really matter what happens to him at this point. Okay? Yeah. So look back at the Kyrie Irving discussion. I hate to bring that back up, but Kyrie Irving's made $150 million. You think he cares what people think of what he says?
No, I think we're long past that point.
And same thing with Phil. Phil has said many ridiculous things over the years. And he's been involved. Do you remember the whole stock scandal, the insider trading scandal he had?
Yep.
You think he cares? He paid the large fine of $250,000 or whatever the fine is for the SEC and moved on with his day. Because to him, what do you say to guys? $250,000 is what you wipe your ass with for people with rich money, with a lot of money. So, and you're going to love this. I have to read this because the whole apology. Quote, "It was reckless. I offended people, and I am deeply sorry for my choice of words. I'm beyond disappointed and will make every effort to self-reflect and learn from this." Now, I get mad, and you know this, Nick. I get mad when people say, I'm going to go self-reflect. Can you
know they're not.
Can you explain to me why people think it's normal to say, I'm going to go self-reflect when you know you are already the person that said that dumb statement?
Because you know they're not going to learn from it. Because they say that phrase so often, and they never learn anything from it. And then they never actually take the time to learn why it was that it was wrong what they wrong what they said.
He continued, "My intent was never to hurt anyone, and I'm so sorry to the people I have negatively impacted. This has always been about supporting the players in the game, and I appreciate all the people who've given me the benefit of the doubt." You're not getting the benefit of the doubt. Shut up. You don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. My intent was never to hurt anyone? Are you serious?
Really?
You're going to tell me your intent was not to hurt anyone. First of all, if the PGA got really smart, they would say, you violated basically your agreement by going after a partner with the PGA. Hello, wake up.
At a certain point, it's like, all right, let's just do the damage control thing and hope people forget about it as soon as possible.
Well, KPMG basically canceled his ass.
And you know what? He's going to end up being like, cancel call. I got canceled. No. If I may, just wrap up with this statement. It's more of a rhyme, really. It's more of a poem. Short poem. I'm paraphrasing, but to fuck around is human. To find out is divine.
That's good. I like that. Phil then hinted, and this is the last thing. Phil hinted he could take a step away from the game for a while following the controversy, saying he desperately needs some time away. Is that damage control too?
Yeah.
Okay, just
okay. You know what? I'm just gonna go away now. Bye.
Wait a minute. Can I say this? Is this the Shaggy "it wasn't me" defense?
No, I think he's saying it was me. It's just, hey, why would you listen to me? I'm just an asshole.
I'm gonna go take time away in my mansion with all my piles of money that I sit on anyway, and I'll just take a vacation.
Shit.
It's almost like his own suspension. Like or what is that? Like academic probation or academic suspension for an athlete? It's okay.
Believe me, I've been on academic probation before. This is worse.
Yeah, it's definitely worse. All right, one more story here. This one kind of hits home. We were talking about nostalgia before. Arthur. The long-running PBS Kids series has come to an end after 25 years.
So, it is the longest-running children's-oriented programming in the world, I should say. So, I'm going to make a full disclosure. And in the interest of full disclosure, I will say this. I never actually watched Arthur.
What?
I never got his deal.
What?
I never understood what the point was of the aardvark. I just don't. See, I never, you have to understand something. My parents never really got into the whole Sesame Street thing.
What?
The educational. Yes, I did do it when I was young, but probably too young. I don't remember ever actually sitting to watch Arthur, because to me, if it wasn't making me laugh, I wasn't caring about it.
Damn. I didn't know you didn't watch it.
I'm not actually going to begrudge anybody who grew up with it and loved it. That's fine. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic.
Well,
because we all know there's too many people out there in the internet that just want to shit all over everything somebody likes.
Agreed. And the one thing I'll agree with you here is why they ended it with Arthur being an adult.
I didn't even realize it was still going.
It was still going, yes. But apparently they went all the way through adulthood, which I think kind of ruins it.
Which is still the character design for Arthur. And I'm like, that guy looks like he's about to sell me crypto.
Wow.
He looks like he's about to corner me in the bathroom and tell me about the wonders of Bitcoin.
Excuse me. I watched it as a kid, then it went away. It's a phase. Like Arthur was a phase. Like, but when I found out that the Arthur series finale, All Grown Up, was a thing, I was like, oh God, I'm old.
Again, they're trying to make you feel old.
Wait a minute. So 25 seasons. I'm assuming they're talking about years, because sometimes seasons are half season.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's 25 years. So that means I was 4. So you were what?
Probably around like 6 or 7.
Damn. So I wonder if they're going to find a replacement show, or was that it? Or
people, and that's the other thing here. People really don't seem to give a shit about children's programming anymore. There doesn't seem to be any effort in children's programming and actually getting them, because it's not about just, popping them down in front of the TV and just keeping their attention for an hour.
Wait a minute.
They had to learn something.
This says that the full episodes, which are still currently available on PBS Kids YouTube, but the network makes clear Arthur is not totally over. Episodes will continue to air on the network and its video app, while a podcast and digital shorts are being planned. So, is that like everything else, like where they're so desperate to keep a brand alive that they're just going to do anything they can to keep it alive?
And that's the other thing about it. Nothing is allowed to just end.
In today's world, it's not.
Mm-mm.
Look at every show. It's over. It's the last episode.
Oh, no, it's not.
You know what they should do from now on when they think a show's going to end? They should just say TBD. Like, all right, it's
to be continued.
Oh, right. Well, to be determined, to be continued, whichever, same thing. But basically, I I saw, what was it, Brian Williams, who finally left NBC Properties after what, like 30-something years?
And now he's back.
Well, he's not back yet, but he's like,
He will be.
I'm stepping away. You all know he's going to come back.
Yep.
We all know it. I mean, to be damned when he completely lied about when he was on
The whole helicopter
when he
thing.
lied that he was on the helicopters and war zones and all that stuff. No problem. Come back and do 11th Hour on MSNBC. No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got nothing anymore.
Who took over for that? I thought I read that Stephanie Rule was taking over 11th Hour.
I think. I'm not sure.
I mean, I could care less because I don't watch MSNBC, to be quite honest. It's a hacky business channel, to be quite honest.
Oh, God.
I don't know. TV's weird. To go full circle with this, basically, that we're getting all these reboots. We're getting all these weird shows coming back. You're seeing people that we haven't seen in 20 years back on television again. And we're like,
I thought I got rid of you.
It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. And now you're back in my life. Oh,
wait a minute. How could I miss you if you ever leave? If you never leave?
Right. And the only thing I'm begging that they don't do now, they better not bring Full House back again. That's all I'm begging that they don't do.
Not without Saget. They won't.
I swear I will boycott every Full House return if they try to do it without Bob. Obviously,
They won't do it. They won't do it.
But,
Or they'll wait another 10, 15 years and until Candace Cameron Bure and Jodie Sweetin are in their 60s, and then they could fill their roles. So,
oh God,
oh God, I just manifested that, didn't I?
yeah, great. Now you just gave them an idea.
All right, I'm leaving. All right,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I caused enough damage.
All right, that just about does it for episode 19 of Beyond the Bench. Make sure you follow him on social media at Nick Writes Words, myself at N Morgasen Radio. Let's see. Follow us on Twitter, the show itself at Beyond the Bench 1, and on Facebook, same thing. Follow the podcast network on social media at ETB Network. And in a couple of weeks, we're actually going to have an announcement about something that's going to help improve the content and actually maybe allow us to reach into greener pastures.
We've got a couple new shows in the pipeline, so keep it here. You never know what might show up.
Just be careful. We're not popping cherries anymore. Anyway, so for that joke's going to last forever now that we came up with it. So for Nick Fodera, I'm Nick Morgasen. This has been Beyond the Bench. We will see you, for episode 20? Holy crap.
Wow.
Have we really gone to 20 episodes? Oh, we're going to come up on episode 20 already?
God, you're making me feel older. Stop it.
Well, time, what is it? What do they say? Time is always going faster or whatever. Or is it that you slow down when it gets older?
Okay, Einstein, just end the show.
I don't want to get canceled for the flat earth theory like Kyrie Irving. Oh, all right. Nick Fodera, I'm Nick Morgasen. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Good night, everybody. See you back on the bench.